interesting race action. Having said that, Pastor Maldonado, something of a Monaco specialist. He's won the feature race before. He's finished second here as well. So clearly, it's for some bizarre reason, this is drivers work their way up towards the grid. Maldonado, a Monaco specialist, and Hulkenberg is has been one of the revelations of the season.
Yeah, Hulkenberg, I mean, you look at the times, just going back from the first run that we saw on the Friday and then the race and qualifying on Saturday. Just Romain Grosjean was poled throughout, and then Petrov, his teammate, second. Hulkenberg was the one that really surprised. He jumped in there in the art car and 120.0, just a half a second or a tenth of a second.
Drivers now 30 laps of Monaco, and Maldonado gets away cleanly at the start of the race, but is challenged by Chandhok into Sandoval on the first lap, and Chandhok moves across and takes that position. And then so far all the drivers have managed to stream through without missing out on the chicane at the curbs at the first corner. So his hairpin desperately trying to take advantage of the fact that they're running so close behind chicane, the slowest corner in Grand Prix racing, and if one car gets in trouble, well, they've all just got to stop and sit in neutral and wait, as up front Karun Chandhok slides it,
absolutely driving right over his wheels, virtually pushing his teammate,
and he'll take on a fresh nose cone. Hopefully he'll be able to get back into the fray. And he's 25th and last of the runners, and all the cars still listed as running in this race as we get front. Karun Chandhok is the fastest man on the track, and we saw one of the, I think, was it a PK sports car, or perhaps it was one of the Dave Price racing machines crawling around behind, as up front Karun Chandhok goes on his merry way. Of course, no pit stops. They won't be taking on a fresh set of rubber, so managing the tyre is absolutely critical, and Karun Chandhok is pushing very hard in these early stages.
Yeah, I think 30 laps this race, it's going to be further than anybody went yesterday. And
damn, in terms of
preventing
the others from getting ahead.
No, sorry, Maldonado just really doesn't really quite get it going anyway well, just slow away, and then Chandhok around the outside stays with him, and Chandhok chops him up, gets the front of it, and manages to get around the rest around Maldonado.
It was amazing, Gary. It's well, they all managed to get round without any difficulty. Karun Chandhok a little bit hot on the brakes at the exit of the tunnel going down to the chicane there, manages to gather it all up. It's a slow corner there, so he won't have lost too much time, but he's certainly pushing, no doubt.
Enough space left for another car, you know. Don't just push the guy in there over the curb, because that's not that doesn't help anybody really. So yeah, neat and tidy and good to see, to be honest. They can respond to it.
Karun Chandhok's pushing hard, there's no doubt about it, but Pastor Maldonado, is he pushing a little bit harder? Well, he was. Last lap round, Karun Chandhok managed to record another fastest lap. Having said that, it was just over a tenth of a second faster than Maldonado. In the last couple of laps, Maldonado had gained around about a second, but Chandhok has stemmed the flow a little bit, and now maintained that gap at just over, gone out to, well, 2.5 seconds. So he's lost 2 seconds on that lap alone. Whether he's just, as you say, David, taking a little bit of a breather, giving himself some clear air, and then attacking.
And you're struggling, maybe the car isn't handling to your liking, and you're really trying to maintain your pace, and rather than an overtaking manoeuvre that goes wrong, you just clip the barrier, run wide. And we saw some experienced runners, noticeably Philippi spinning off at the first corner and smacking the barrier. I mean, good experienced runners. You know, no matter how much miles you've done, you've never done miles similar to running around Monte Carlo, where there's no place to. A couple of times I've seen him, the car looked a little bit loose, and now he's becoming under increasing pressure from Maldonado. Maldonado's
to hold off the man behind, which is Romain Grosjean, as Chandhok on this lap has gained a couple of tenths through the first sector, lost 3 tenths through the second sector. So on this one, Maldonado is about a tenth of a second up, but they're scrapping hard, and judging by the way the cars are starting to slide around in the corners, Gary, the tyres are starting to points at the moment, and no